Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There are many interesting stories ahead of you. I, 23M, have tried to break up with my GF, 23 times, but she has tried to kill herself each time. I don't know what to do. Think I'll just have to start by giving a bit of background on the relationship. I think this is going to be very long. We've been together just over a year now. We were seeing each other before in a FWB situation, but eventually we both wanted more. She used to live about an hour's drive away, so I would drive over to hers most of the time and stay a few nights between my blocks of shifts. I do 4 shifts on 4 off. It was all really good. I always looked forward to getting there and loved being with her. We did lots of things together whenever I went down, and it was all good. Admittedly, I may have overlooked a few warning signs when I look back now, but I was none the wiser. Then her mom and dad started to fall out and talk about splitting up. This had been ongoing before I'd met her. Her mom was planning to leave and go and stay with her best friend, 4-hour drive away. Problem is, her dad is not her biological dad, so her mom was expecting my GF to go along with her. My GF didn't want to, and as a result moved out and moved to my city. At this point, we'd only been officially together for about 3 months, so I said to her, if you're moving here, make sure it's not for me and that this is actually what you want to do with your life. She agreed and said that she has a couple of friends here at university too, plus she wants to get a job in the city, etc. And it's not too far from home. So she moved here, got a job and got all set up renting a place, etc. I still live with my mom and stepdad. So anyway, things carried on pretty good. I would stay at hers quite a bit, but the only thing was it was a shared house type rent, so shared kitchens and bathrooms. So I said to her, why don't you start staying with me at my parents' house a few nights a week or something, or when it's fitting. So we did that. It almost instantly became her staying at my parents' every night. We never really had a conversation about it, something I regret now. And I sort of just let it happen because I do love her and want her to be happy, and would rather she was here with me than in that shared rent place. Even on nights that I wasn't in the house, she'd stay here and got on with my parents, etc., and all was okay. Then, as it happens in relationships, we started to have a few little arguments or tiffs, and the way she dealt with them really took me by surprise. It was always over tiny little things that I wouldn't even consider, and had done before too. For example, one time we ate downstairs and I went up to get ready for bed, like I've done plenty of times before with her, and she was annoyed that I didn't wait for her to come up too. I couldn't really believe it was an issue, but she refused to speak to me all night after it and put her pillow on the other side of the bed. I sort of just left her to it, as I thought it was insanely petty, which made her even more mad, and she started telling me I don't even care about her, as I wasn't trying to make up with her. She started packing her things up and saying she was going to leave, which she later backtracked on and told me she only did that to get a reaction out of me. So a few more situations like this occurred, and I changed my response to them a bit, and I'd actually spend 30 to 60 minutes of my life trying to resolve the situation to show I cared, and it always would work in the end. But I hated doing this. It wasn't normal to me. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, as I was aware of the fact she was going through a lot with moving city, her parents splitting up and starting a new job all on her own, and told her how proud I was of her and how well I thought she was doing, as I'd never been able to move out at 20. But this just kept happening more and more regularly, to the point I decided I can't keep spending 30 to 60 minutes trying to make up with her over these tiny little issues all the time. It was so draining and felt like such a waste of time. It got me very frustrated having to deal with it all the time. So I spoke to her about it, and we had a massive talk about how we both felt, etc. After this talk, she was just back to normal again for about 3 months. We went on holiday during this time, and it was probably the happiest Eve ever been. It was the best holiday Eve had, and she was so happy too. I really thought it would carry on like this. Then when we got back from holiday, I think every single day for about 10 days we would fall out. One time it was because I didn't cuddle her when I got home from work, a 12-hour night shift I just needed to shower and sleep like usual. Another time was because I forgot to ask for chicken in her pasta order at a restaurant. She stormed out of the restaurant crying and left me and her best friend at the table. And I had to leave her friend alone and not eat my meal just to go and chase after her to make sure she's okay. I could go on and on with similar situations, and it's just gotten to the point I find myself thinking, how is this my life? Like, what am I doing? She's done it in front of my friends, my family, her friends, and TBH, it's embarrassing. We just look like such a messy couple, and I hate it because she is genuinely so nice and caring 90% of the time. She does so much for me and has helped me in so many ways that she doesn't even know, but I just can't live my life like this. I've tried to suggest she starts staying at hers again a few nights a week at least. She won't even talk about it, just skips by the question. I've suggested going on a break, but she says she doesn't see what it would solve. So I don't know what else to suggest. Clearly something needs to change as we are not working right now. I've said to her on 3 separate occasions over the last 2 months that I can't carry on like this, that something has to change or we have to split up. I said I'd still be there for her. I don't want to just cut her out of my life, but as a couple we do not work. 2 times she tried to jump out of my bedroom window, and the other time she grabbed all of her contraceptive pills and locked herself in the bathroom. Luckily the lock is terrible, so I was able to get in and take them off of her. My 29F boyfriend, 28M, admitted he isn't attracted to me when I grilled him about our awful sex life. Our sex life has been bad for 2 years, been together 5 years. He gained 80 pounds and I gained 20 pounds. Plus I lost all my muscle, and so did he. We used to be gym buffs when we first met. Well, through COVID and both of us getting new jobs and just generally being fat and happy together, our bodies have gone to shit in the last 5 years. I thought it was just his weight gain that was causing ED. I stopped pressuring him for sex and begged him to go to the doctor. It took him 9 months to go to the DR. Meanwhile, I am feeling more and more rejected the whole time. I became accustomed to taking care of myself and told myself a couple more months. Finally, he got put on blood pressure meds, which immediately helped with his ED. We were out of practice by then, but started having sex a couple times a month at least, but it was terrible sex, rote and routine, and he came easily but tried to finish me like I was a robot that he just had to input the correct buttons, often failed. Anyway, I am at my wit's end, so I talked to him last night and tell him yes, I am thinking about our future in marriage, but our sex life is so bad we need to talk about it. BC, I can't go on like this. After a while I admit that yes, I am less attracted to him than before, but my main problem is that he never seemed to enjoy touching me anymore, so that is the main reason I don't enjoy anything. I ask if he even attracted to me anymore. He says yes. He tells me all the ways he is attracted to me, which amounts to my personality. I ask if he is attracted physically, and he says blah blah, I love you, so that shouldn't matter, but he does like the way my hair smells. Holy shut. He never even hinted anything bad about my body. Props to him for being a gentleman, but I just went through 2 years of pain and confusion thinking something is wrong with me. It comes out that he doesn't like to complain, so he never tells me anything critical. I told him that is part of the problem. He doesn't communicate with me, and it has taken to me nearly breaking up with him to even get a hint of what to do. Well, I am at the gym right now. My body is ugly. I am skinny fat, but still with fat hanging off me in choice places. I hate how I have gotten to this ugly point. I've had multiple injuries this year, but it's no excuse. What I don't get is that I have tried to get us healthier with food and exercise, but he resists so much despite me telling him I needed support multiple times in the past year. If you got this far, thank you for reading. I feel like a worthless idiot, but whether or not we make it, I'm going to get my body and confidence back. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There are many interesting stories ahead of you.